We're back. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Movie Couple Live, the show where we talk about the latest news in movie. I don't even know
movie
what
and pop culture. I'm Dustin.
I'm Wendy.
And today we're going to be talking a little bit about two big topics that we've been wanting to talk about since we haven't been able to go live in a while. We're going to be talking about our thoughts on Secret Invasion, and we're going to be talking about our excitement for the new is it Peacock show? Yeah, Peacock show, the Continental, that's coming out.
Yeah, it's a spinoff of John Wick. But before we get into everything else, you guys, thank you so much for those of you who are joining us right now on our live. I see Starju and Vanja and Christopher Mendez. Happy birthday, everyone in the chat. Please say happy birthday to Spider Chris. I see Adam, I see Sean, I see Shane, I see CJ. It's been a long time, y'all, and it's crazy. It's crazy because like our schedule got crazy.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where we weren't able to do the live streams anymore because his work got really busy. I started doing some freelance writing, and that took up a lot of time, which we're still doing. Both of our schedules are kind of still everywhere, but we've missed live streams. We miss being able to we get to interact with you guys in real time. So we've missed that the most. So we're going to try to get back to it as much as our schedule can allow.
Yeah. And it's kind of sad because, it's kind of, that was one thing that I have to admit, knock on wood, that I liked about going into quarantine was the fact that we're like, hey, we have some free time. We're able to couldn't go to work. Yeah, exactly. And now that things have pretty much, quote unquote, gone back to as normal as I think they're going to get.
Yeah.
Now that also means we haven't gotten to see our friends as much as anymore as we used to be able to go online, and we used to be able to play games and streaming. And now it's just kind of like, oh, everything went back the way it was, but worse.
It's just, I don't think it's worse. I think it's just we finally adjusted to 2020 and what that was, which carried over into 2021 and 2022. And now it's readjusting it again, but in a slightly different, from a slightly different perspective.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is. So, but nonetheless, we're so happy that you guys were able to join us on a Friday night. We're, even though you guys see us like on, I mean, I haven't posted to social media much, but you do, I feel like social media built this kind of image that like YouTube creators and whatnot, we're always like out and about, and it's just like, no, that's just when we post. So that's why my feed is filled with stuff like that. But for the most part, it's home in sweatpants and writing and sitting in front of my desk, either editing or writing, and he'll be at work. So that's really like the true life of but things are coming back. Screenings are happening, like the in-person ones, which I kind of love and I don't love at the same time. I love it because I enjoy seeing movies as how they're supposed to be, right?
Because there's a lot of movies out there that you have to see on the big screen. Like Oppenheimer, you kind of need to see that on the big screen. You don't quite
70 millimeters, guys.
Yeah, 70 millimeter IMAX. But honestly, it's nice to be able to go back into the movies. It's nice to be able to see this, but it's still that awkwardness of I haven't gotten used to it yet.
I just like being able to be home on my laptop in my sweats and watch a movie and not have to like interact with people, because sometimes there's a little bit of a like anxiety that comes from that, where I was like, oh, I don't know, I sound like a fool when I speak. But anyways, we are gonna get into it. So let's get into our first topic, which is, well, I guess I want to take a look at the chat. Chris says, movie couple after dark.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
Greetings, foolish mortals.
We have a question from Dragon Trainer who writes, what is your favorite Disney Plus show? Ooh.
The favorite Disney Plus show, I have to admit, one of the shows that I really enjoyed was Tales of the Jedi. I liked a lot of those. I like those little storylines. I like seeing like the behind the scenes, the story, the little scenes that we weren't able to get either in the movies or the animated films or animated or Clone Wars. And I just really enjoyed seeing the evolution of like, especially Dooku. I really enjoyed that evolution.
Yeah, that was a really great one. And I didn't choose this show on purpose just because it was in the Star Wars universe, but it is what popped in my head that kind of is I guess you can still call it recent because it's within the year, but that's Andor.
Yes.
I adore that show, and I know some people, one of their criticisms was that it felt kind of slow. It was a lot of talking, and I do agree that there is a lot of dialogue, but it's meaningful and it means something. And I sometimes it's nice to get a break from a show where it's not just like flashy action scenes, and I love those just as much, but I feel like Andor gave us a lot of that like character art and depth that that I really wanted to see in Star Wars and in a Disney Plus show, which we got.
And I really like the fact that they just took something that is beloved to us, Star Wars, and just completely was like, you know what? Let's really take this in a different direction. Let's do something with Star Wars that we really have not gotten a chance to see since Rogue One, and to be able to just go do that deep, slow burn, deep dive into character development and storyline.
Yeah, absolutely love that. Want to say
I can't
quick
swim.
You know what though? I think Andy Serkis said, "Well, you never saw him die. Technically, we never did." So I have hopes that he will be back in season 2. Maybe somebody was helpful enough to him that's like, "Hey, or they somehow like
jump off with me and I'll help you float and I'll help you get to shore."
God, that's so
quick swimming lesson.
So scary. But I think the salt in the ocean will help you float a little bit, right? Does that still work in like Star Wars world?
I don't know. Who knows? It might not even be in a salt water. It might have been a big lake.
Yeah, who knows? Want to say a quick hello real quick to Jake. Jake, thank you for stopping by. Hope you're well, man. And we have a super chat from Anthony. Anthony, thank you so much. I got to meet Anthony actually at a Twice concert. I think did I post the picture on Instagram? I'm pretty sure I posted the picture on Instagram. It was really, really cool. And I apologize for. So we were messaging back and forth on Instagram because I was like, this is like my one chance to like get to like actually face to face. And after the concert, after he goes in, it's like, forget it, because the phone signal is so bad at SoFi. So we were sending pictures to each other of like, this is where I'm standing. Where are you? And it was just like, where's Waldo? Kind of, we're looking for each other. And he sent a picture and I was like, he is right next to me, but I wasn't seeing him.
Because everyone else is like up here on you.
Right.
You're like, ugh.
So I finally did the one thing that I would absolutely hate if somebody else did it to me, but I had no choice because I was like, we're ready to go inside. He's got to go inside. And I was just like, Anthony! And I was like, I hope there wasn't like 15 Anthonys in the areas and they all turn around. I'd be like, oh, but that's how we found each other. So it was great to meet you. And here is Navi.
And it's so good. Just a Navi update.
Yes, Navi update.
She finished all of her medication and all
knock
of her...
on wood, guys. Knock on all the woods right now.
Her medication worked amazingly well. You can see, I mean, she still kind of has some scars from the blisters, blisters that she got, but they're all healed up. She's back to her normal spunky self. And look at her
put me down face. Look at that face.
So Navi is doing very well. Okay, here, I'll put you down.
Anthony Salas says, no way. Hello, Dustin and Wendy. A surprise live for sure. I am on my lunch break. Oh, very nice. Great to see you and chat. Thanks for hanging out with us during your lunch break. Okay, should we get into... It's like I forgot how StreamYard works.
Well, honestly, that was one thing. When we were hooking everything up, I was kind of like, wait, are we supposed to... How does this work? It's been so long.
How does it work again? All right, let's talk about the Continental. This was kind of like a last minute. Like I looked over to Dustin. I was like, I want to go live. Let's go live. Let's go live. Let's go live. We didn't prepare, but let's do it. So let's talk about the John Wick spinoff series. We usually are a little bit more prepared than this. We usually are. But luckily, in our whole household, this does come up in conversation anyways. So it's in a way we are prepared. There is a brand new trailer out for the John Wick spinoff series, The Continental, that is arriving on Peacock later this September. And it's like a very limited series, I think, because they are calling it... Right? Well, they're calling it a 3-part event, which makes me think that there's 3 episodes. I don't know how long the episodes are. I haven't seen in any of the articles I read that said how long the runtime is. I'm assuming it's like 50 minutes, maybe more or less, but that's the ballpark. But this is set in 1970s New York. Winston has not acquired the Continental yet.
Not yet.
Yeah, so it's a very young Winston. And so we did a trailer reaction to this. So if you'd like to check that out, please do. And subscribe to the channel. And it should be one of like the newest videos that we have. One of the comments on our reaction video pointed out, why is Winston speaking in an American accent? And I was like,
oh,
ooh, good catch, sir. Good catch. Why?
And so see, that's immediately one of my biggest concerns about any time that they do a prequel to any franchise is the continuity. You know, are you going to be able to get actors that can portray the character well? Are you going to be able to set it so it flows perfectly into the original franchise that we know and love so much? Are you going to have plot holes? Are you going to have continuity errors? So that's always something that I am very nervous about. And it looks like we've already caught one. But honestly, you don't go see a movie like John Wick for story. You go there, true, don't get me wrong, they did a good job on the story, but you go there for the action. You go there for the coolness. You go for, you know, Keanu Reeves. So I'm a little curious on how this is going to do. One, without Keanu Reeves, and two, taking place in the past.
I mean, that's certainly true. Like we all watched, you know, John Wick as one of the big draws is we know these insane and very practical, you know, fight sequences or action sequences, whether it involves cars or animals or staircases. But I think if they didn't catch the fact that the actor was not doing a British accent when Winston is supposed to be British, and I looked it up after he said the comment. I was like, okay, he does. That's right. That's a pretty big hole to like have forgotten.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, wasn't Winston at MI6 for?
Oh, I would have to go back and check that.
So if that is the case, then perhaps the non-existent British accent is on purpose until it is revealed later. So we'll see, but the fight sequences look good. I like these, like they're fully embracing the 70s vibe. Yeah. So I'm really into that. And I also know that TV budget's technically smaller, much smaller than movie budget. So it, like the action scenes looks good. The choreography looks good, but it's also have to be, I think, scaled down for what they usually do for movies.
Yeah. And I'm wondering too, if maybe at the end of this 3-part special event or 3-part series or however many episodes they decide to have, if they're going to maybe start whispers of John Wick. True. I don't think at this point he would have been he would have gotten his reputation, but he might have just started his assassin career. He might have just started his hitman career. So it would be like, oh yeah, and this new up and comer John Wick.
Right.
And you just like a name drop. And then if you do more of these prequels, I would love to be able to see that one moment where he got his name, to where he got the name. the boogeyman.
The boogeyman.
Yeah. And to be able to see that moment. And but the thing is though, when you do something like that, then you would have to get a young Keanu Reeves or de-age Keanu Reeves.
I think they'll just get a young.
And I think that's probably the best way to go. But the thing is, though, Keanu Reeves is not just the star of all of the John Wick movies. He's also like the heart and soul. He's the one out there. He's working as hard as he can. He's the first one there on set, the last one to leave. He's the one that's pumping everybody up. He's the one that's, you know, getting everyone to be like, oh man, if I don't work as hard as Keanu, it's going to look bad on me. So I'm going to push it.
Yeah, he definitely raises the bar.
The bar
for, you know, just overall work ethic and energy, I think, on set. I think one of the things that we have to remember going into the Continental is that it's based off, you know, the Continental we see in John Wick, but this is supposed to be a prequel series. It's a young Winston. Sharon is very young in this. We've got Mel Gibson being the bad guy in the series. I completely missed the fact that he was even going to be in this.
Yeah.
So that was a huge surprise to us when we saw him show up in the trailer. So I'm curious that like who he is playing and whether or not like the family and the table and everything, like do we see it being born here or have they already existed?
I think the table would still be established.
Yeah, I think so too.
At this one. And I wouldn't be surprised if Mel Gibson is the current owner of the Continental in New York. And Winston, this is how Winston takes it from him, because it looks like they're after his brother. So he's trying to save his brother's life. I wouldn't be surprised if somewhere his brother dies. And then he goes out to take revenge. He is able to kill Mel Gibson, and then he takes control of the Continental. 100% theory. There's nothing besides me watching the trailer to think of that. But it's going to, where it's going to end. So we know that Winston's going to have the Continental. So he doesn't die. And you also know, oh shoot, what's his friend's name? Sharon. We know that
the great late Lance Riddick.
Oh, it was just, where did we see it recently?
We were watching Adam Eve.
That's what it was.
Yeah, we were watching Adam Eve, and there was a character whose voice, and I was like, that's a very distinct voice, and I feel like I should know who it is. Who is it? And then I couldn't, my brain just couldn't calculate. So we waited until the end of the episode, and we're like, of course and then once his name came up, and I was like, duh, that makes sense.
But something I've also noticed is that Mel Gibson really has played those roles, that kind of deep, menacing, slow talking kind of villainous roles. And don't get me wrong, he does a great job at it, especially if you've ever seen what was the one that was repeating the day over and over? It wasn't Groundhog's Day, but the action one where it was
Day After Tomorrow.
No, the one, what's his name? It was, he got stuck in the assassins trying to kill him, and
Nope.
It was Endgame.
Boss Level.
That's what it was.
Mel Gibson isn't in that.
Yeah, he's the big bad guy.
What?
He's the boss.
With Frank Grillo?
Yeah. And he kind of plays that gruff, menacing bad guy that always kind of talks kind of slow, grumbling, and has that graveliness to his voice. So I know he's going to do a good job at that character.
I think what I'm most excited about is to just get a closer look at the Continental. I've been, ever since we saw it in the first John Wick movie, I was immediately intrigued. I was like, what is this hotel? And they've been talking about developing the spinoff for a long time. So I'm excited about that. And I feel like we saw little breadcrumbs, right? We saw the Mustang. We saw, there was in one of the fight scenes, and one of the character that was fighting, she's in pink, and she's got the glasses, and it looks like the operators.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And who else? There was another thing that I noticed, that
there were a couple of assassins, and something that Stardew was bringing up,
this one
and the rules of no guns. I'm wondering if we're going to see the start of some of these rules, because of what happens with Winston. The table and people, the Continental are like, okay, we need to establish some new rules here to make sure that this does not happen again.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if we're going to see a lot of that.
Yes.
We need to establish these rules a lot and solidify them so we can have a little bit, so we stay in power and no one threatens our power and control.
Right. Well, looking forward to how it will be come later September. But if you guys want to check out our trailer reaction and thoughts on that, there's a video for that on our channel. And before we move on to the next topic, I know I missed this a while back, so we have to back all the way up in the comments and talk about this super chat from Martin. Thank you so much. Marvin writes, so for anybody who's new to the live stream, Marvin always has really great suggestions, whether it's a new show, a new book, a new YouTube video, and etc. So we're going to check that out, what he's suggesting today. And author Barry Eisler, Jason Bourne meets Dexter. Whoa, meets girl with the dragon tattoo.
Ooh, you're like, I got to look that up.
I don't have any more credits left on my Audible. I used it all up.
So, Marvin, just so you know, there was something that you recommended. You did the anatomically correct Spider-Man.
Oh my God.
So I recently stumbled upon the anatomically correct Ninja Turtles.
No.
It is just as bad. So if anyone gets a chance, a recommendation before was the anatomically correct Spider-Man. Go check out the anatomically correct Ninja Turtles. Make sure that you're at home because it is not work appropriate.
Yeah, not safe for work. And then Marvin, can you just help me out, because I just looked up Barry Eisler in my Audible app. but he has a ton of books. So do you have one that you suggest?
Yeah.
There's one called it's not but there's one called Extremis.
Oh. Immediately, I think about Marvel.
Yeah,
I think about the Extremis
that's
virus.
what I thought too. So I'll wait for his suggestion on that while we get into the next topic.
And that actually feeds pretty well into our next topic, seeing how we have the Extremis virus in the MCU.
Yeah, and I feel like, sorry, continue.
And the fact that we are going to be talking about Secret Invasion and the finale to Secret Invasion and our personal thoughts on it.
So I feel like because we hadn't live streamed for so long, and the finale happened like 3-4 weeks ago, we're kind of late to talk about it, but we have been wanting to talk about this because the idea of Secret Invasion, like the show, we were both really excited. I think Dustin more excited than me.
So excited
because of the comic book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because of it's one of my favorite series in the MCU, in the not MCU, but in the graphic novels.
Yes.
In the comics. And I just loved the whole espionage. You can't trust anyone. And they just took that idea and it looked like they were working up towards it, building up to it. And then they just went, okay. And they just dropped it. And I personally feel like they just completely dropped the ball on this. And this is honestly, after Secret Invasion, really kind of opened up my opinion to what the direction that Marvel is going. And I started to understand a lot more of the complaints that people are having about Marvel, about, they really do have that kind of cookie cutter, what is that called? Formula. And they are just,
I'm sorry, I was too hot. I'm putting out the hair back.
They really are just starting to just push out just a ton of content. It really does kind of fall into kind of what happened with Beanie Babies. And I'm not just saying that because we recently saw the Beanie Bubble.
The Beanie Bubble.
Which made me think, Marvel is really just like, we have this huge success. Let's just make this and this and this and just throwing out a whole bunch of series. Some of them are okay. But I don't think any of them have truly some of the early ones have crushed it, I personally think.
Yeah, I feel like we in a way share Noah's sentiment here. Noah says this finale ruined the show for me because of that. I hate the show in general. So I don't hate the show. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed many of the episodes. I thought, ironically, the beginning episodes 1 and 2 were pretty solid. And I felt like it had a lot of promise. It was going to dive into the espionage of things, the way Nick Fury does stuff. And that kind of the question that hangs over everything that's involving anyone we've ever met in the MCU is, are they them or are they a Skrull? Right? That's like the biggest thing. And it definitely is, because it shows that the show did touch on how many Skrulls, in fact, did move and find their home on Earth, and it's a larger number than Nick Fury ever thought. I really enjoyed the performances and a lot of the scenes between Nick Fury and Talos. Yeah. Or should I say, there's a bug in here. Samuel L. Jackson and Ben Mendelsohn, as well as Kingsley Ben-Adir is really, really great as Gravik. And I really enjoyed him as a villain because he was just relentless. He truly believed in his sick, twisted way of this is the way, kind of like how Thanos was like, no, this is the way to fix things. We're just going to kill off half the population. Yeah. That's how we take care of the problem. And Gravik was just like, it's my way or the highway. And it almost seemed like he was talking to his sergeants and the people that were directly under him, that he trusted them to make the right decision. But then he also, the second that anyone opposed to it, he was like, oh, you're going to oppose me? Well, I'll just get rid of you.
Yeah. And that was something that I found a little shocking, is the fact that he did kind of start becoming drunk on his own power, and the fact that as soon as he became a Super Skrull, he was like, well, I don't really need any of you anymore. The fact that he killed off his second in command so brutally in front of everyone, I feel like there was a lot of cool storylines that they were starting to go down. And in the finale, we got some of that really cool context about, who this is? This is the first person you ever had me kill. And I'm like, oh, That's interesting. The relationship between Fury and his wife.
Yes.
I thought would have been really cool, but they had all of these cool little storylines, but they didn't really go anywhere. They didn't really develop them in a way that was meaningful. And I am so upset about what they did to Rhodey, because
oh God,
Scrody.
No, I hate it. It sounds like something else.
I know, that's the whole point. And that's why it's funny. But honestly, I mean, there are so many amazing scenes that take place with Rhodey in Endgame, in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and everything since he was taken, that I'm like, oh, that was a Skrull the entire time.
Right.
It diminishes so much on how powerful those scenes were.
Yeah.
Just knowing now that wasn't the real Rhodey.
Granted, we don't have like a confirmation of when the switch happened, but I feel like based on the fact that he was in a hospital gown, you can maybe try to get close. I'm sure New Rockstars has a great breakdown of that, which I think you watched.
Yes, they do. If you want to go through like some of the scenes that they are specifically mentioning about, well, oh my gosh, during this scene he was a Skrull. New Rockstars does a great job on breaking it down. Sorry.
Oh. Bless you. I do agree with this comment here. The acting is incredible. And when you have people like Olivia Colman, Emilia Clarke, Ben Mendelsohn, Kingsley Ben-Adir, Samuel L. Jackson, why is his name not coming to my Don Cheadle? I was like, why is his name? And I was like, I want to say the word you said. his weird nickname, but I was like, that's not it. Anyways, I knew that I was going to love the acting. Like that wasn't even a question. And a lot of the scenes between Nick Fury and Rhodey were so good. Like the first one that they had where they sat down for, I was like, ooh, the scene that I was living for, like just it was so incredible to just watch them bounce that energy off each other. It's great. Olivia Colman, she's always been a scene stealer in my mind. Like every project I've watched her in, and you can't keep your eyes off of her. I think it's just they didn't really stick the landing. I felt like there were some wasted opportunities where they focused so much on this thing and never paid off, and then instead they focused on that, and then that also didn't pay off. So it's weird. I also have some questions about the harvest. For example, and we'll get into Gaia's like super OP. She like the fact that she's super OP now in a second.
Yeah, and the fact that, I don't know how they're going to handle that now.
She's going to have to lose the power. She's going to have
to lose the powers. Like, it's only temporary.
Right.
Then she gets to keep these powers. Like she starts noticing some of them are starting like, oh, I can't do that anymore. Oh. So, and I'm really just, because I don't know how they're going to fit him in there. Yeah.
My issues with some of the powers that were collected, and I get that it was at the Battle for Earth, as Nick Fury called it.
Yeah, and they're all in one little jar.
How did the ghost's DNA get there? Because technically, I think she had been rescued from the quantum realm, but she was never a part of that.
Yeah, and she was nowhere near.
Right, so,
and also, I don't even know if Nick Fury knew about her, because that was a contained story. Pretty much
within the quantum realm.
Yeah, well, within the quantum realm, and also in Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Unless freaking one of them is a Skrull.
That's very possible. That one of them could have been. But that's the thing, though. I mean, I just feel like they really did not take a timeline and go, okay, when would be a good time to have these people have been taken by Skrulls? And then there's also the fact, the big thing that they were talking about.
Probably Hope, because Scott got bamfed. Well, wait. He was snapped, or he wasn't snapped?
No, he was not. He was in the quantum realm when they got snapped, and it was an accident that brought him back.
Okay. Sorry, I had to. I was like, memories, serve me, go. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. Oh, Lost Highways says Ghost worked for S.H.I.E.L.D., right? Did she?
Did she? Maybe. But it was also, I think what happened to her was an accident, right? It's been so long since I've seen Ant-Man and the Wasp. I'm going to have to brush up and go back and watch it.
Yeah, or watch some sort of explain.
And also, it really did seem like the snap had no effect on the Skrulls whatsoever. Like, if Rhodey was actually taken, when the snap, I mean, because that means he was in that little machine
right
when the snap happened. That means that machine must have stayed in the exact same location the entire time, and the scrolls didn't put anyone in there or turn it off.
Right.
And then he got snapped into that same spot.
Right.
That's iffy. Well, when you start looking at it, you start noticing all of these little loopholes, and you start thinking about how exactly did that happen? Why wouldn't this have happened during the snap? Half of all of the scroll should have been snapped. So it's just one of those things that you're just starting to, it's getting too jumbled and too convoluted.
Yeah. And I feel like maybe if they gave it like a 10 episode treatment versus an 8, it may have helped. Like, I don't know if they edited it down too much for time. I don't know. And I also, we noticed this, that the first 2 episodes were an hour, just about.
Yeah.
And then they started to get shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter.
And it got like 40 minutes.
And I
think the last one was like 30, the shortest out of all of them.
Yeah.
And I was sitting here going, oh no.
Yeah.
They're just going to throw, all right, big. It's funny. It's exactly what they made fun of in She-Hulk. And then they just do exactly the same thing. It's kind of like, oh, let's forget that we made fun of ourselves for doing it, and let's do it again.
Yeah.
And it seems like if Marvel is able to pull themselves out of this funk, especially like, say, for example, for Daredevil, if they can get back to just the grittiness of Daredevil, getting back to, trying just to keep it more of a human-based storyline, I think they can still think there's plenty of room for them to correct course and get back on track.
Yeah.
I still have faith in you, Marvel.
Yeah. I know Disney has, like, in an interview, one of the executives have mentioned that they want to kind of change or adjust their release schedules, and they want to go back to focusing more on quality over quantity, which I like. Yes, it's great to get like this show here, this show there. Like, I love it. Feed it to me. But at the same time, like, I want to be, I think I would also choose quality over quantity.
Yeah. I would be happy taking a few less shows.
That's what we had in the beginning anyways.
Huh?
That's how we had in the beginning anyways. Before Disney Plus, before all of this like crazy schedule, the demand went up, and I think it's maybe a little too much too fast. So I want to see how future MCU projects in streaming or features, how that's going to, I guess, continue the story that's been set by Secret Invasion, because the president also put out like an insane public statement about the Skrulls, and then like that kind of like
all extraterrestrials are now enemy combatants. So that includes Asgardians. So I'm like, didn't the president make a deal with the Asgardians, a trade deal? Does that mean now that's going to go the wayside, and they're going to be like, okay, we're declaring war on you?
Yeah. And I think we talked about this in our reaction for Secret Invasion, which all of it is up on the channel. I think I have to make a playlist so you guys can just click and watch if you haven't yet. So I'll do that after this if I haven't done so. But I really
Anthony, have a thanks for watching us over your break.
Thank you, Anthony. Have a good rest of your day at work. With Gravik, because I think it's selfishly, I just enjoy watching Kingsley act. Yeah. Like, do we all collectively think that he is just gone?
Yeah, I mean,
the damage to him was pretty significant. It was there was a giant hole in his body.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly,
I don't think the extremists can fix that.
There's the extremists, and plus there's probably a few other super beings that they collected their DNA for that could heal. So
I don't think I'm done with him. Like, I don't feel like he got a good enough, like, like,
and the story of the Skrulls. I mean, honestly, what I was really looking forward to is maybe introducing the Skrull Queen. The fact that they are all of the Skrulls are just natural espionage people, and that's how they infiltrate. I wish they would have given us a little bit more backstory on how the Skrull Kree war began, because I think in the comic books, it's been a long, long time since I have read it, is the fact that the Kree actually are the ones who started the war, and it's because of them that all of this happened. and it's kind of them reaping what they sowed.
I'm guessing that we're gonna, I don't even know, right? Like, we have no idea, but potentially this could be touched on in the Marvels.
Yep.
Especially now we've got Nick and his wife Vara now going back up to the space station, and we know the Krees are involved in that movie. So I hope that they talk about it, but at the same time, I don't want the plot to be too like overstuffed by too many things, because they already have 3 characters in this.
I really hope, that they start simplifying their storylines a little bit,
because they have obviously the continuation of her story for Captain Marvel, but there's been some like time and space, because the first time we saw her in her standalone movie was like in the 90s. So like Monica was like little and Maria was still around, and now if you've watched WandaVision, that you kind of got the backstory of that. And then if you also watch Miss Marvel, then there is all of that, and all of it has to come together. So I don't want it to be like too overly convoluted. I really want to see a good story, and I'm really excited to see Park Seo-joon. Oh wait, I gotta get my toy.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so Wendy's going to be able to clarify the story on this a lot better than I will. So we have a friend who went all over the place to 15 different McDonald's to be able to find this toy.
We only went to one McDonald's.
We only checked out one.
Yeah.
We're not as dedicated as our friend.
Okay, so a lot of the times when there's a like Disney show or movie or whatever that is coming out, like they will partner up with McDonald's. Many movies do this. So they're doing something for the Happy Meals for the Marvels, right? Super cute. And so they have toys for all the characters. They have, let me just show you guys. They have these, who are even on here? Nick Fury, Captain Marvel, Goose, and like Princess Carol. Somebody called her Wonder Woman. Like
she kind of looks like it.
One of the staff was like, "This is Wonder Woman." I was like, "No," but also like I can get why, because if you look at the outfit. Yeah, anyways,
I was trying to move my head so it would focus on the pictures.
And then we have Darben here. We have the ladies in the middle, and we have Park Seo-joon, who will be playing Prince Yen. So a little backstory on Park Seo-joon, who have not watched any K-drama. He is a very, very popular, very, very well-known actor from South Korea. He's been in K-dramas. The most recent one is called Dream with IU, who is like the South Korea like national treasure. Okay, it's called Dream. It's on Netflix. Then he is in Itaewon Class, which I think most people will know about because that became really popular. So I saw a TikTok, and this one girl is like, "Hey, so the Marvels, like, you can get the Marvels Happy Meals toy now at McDonald's. And if you're into like K-pop or K-drama, this is like the first time we're going to have a South Korean actor in a Marvel film, and he gets a toy." So we have, I'm going to break it open. I've been waiting for this. I get to have Park Seo-joon as a Happy Meals toy. Look.
What's really funny? Oh yeah, do the movement.
I gotta do it like faster. He dances. And they all link up. They're on the space, and they can all like link up and stuff like that. I'm not gonna go and
together.
I don't know if they all dance, but
probably not.
Anyways, I'm not gonna go and collect anymore. This was really the only one that I wanted, but like, I mean, come on, it's Park Seo-joon as a Happy Meal toy. So any people who like love K-drama and K-pop out there, this is your chance to go and get a Park Seo-joon Happy Meal toy.
Oh, and Noah, you're absolutely right. One of the things that really made me upset was the fact that they killed off Maria Hill in the first episode. Damn. And I'm like, and it didn't really mean anything. It was just Nick Fury, we saw you, we got video of you killing her. Yeah. And that's it. And you're like, well, we know that it's not him. And I'm like, I love her character. She did such an amazing job as Maria Hill. And I'm really sad that Kobe Smulders is no longer in the MCU. Yeah, I know. We kept on hoping that it was going to be like a fake out. Yeah. And that never happened. So I guess it's real, and it makes me sad. It looks like the Dragon Trainer says, my niece and nephew has the Secret Invasion toys from McDonald's. Hey! Yay! I don't know. I can't do that.
Wait, where is this? Oh, this one. CJ says I got the 2 Carol Danvers. So
far. And each was it? How many? Are there only 2 Carol Danvers? One
there's
is
2 Carol Danvers. Yeah, there's her regular costume and her like princess costume, and then just one for Miss Marvel, one for Photon, one for Ben, one for Nick Fury, one for the cat Goose,
one for Goose. Oh, and it's also
it says of course, Marvel's. Yeah, the Flurkin.
The Flurkin.
And that's it. I'm just really happy Park Seo Joon got to be a toy. Like this is.
You're just so excited about that.
So cool. 15 McDonald's, guys. All right. Let's go ahead and wrap up this live stream. Oh, I didn't even do the thing here. It's okay. Can I hide?
I think so. Well, you have to go back to that. Haha.
All right. So what is, I guess, new on the channel? We can talk a little bit about that. So what's coming up is we will be screening Blue Beetle soon. So look forward to a review for that. We did film a reaction for the Invincible prequel special episode.
Oh yeah,
Adam and Eve. So that will
if you guys haven't seen it,
yeah,
highly recommend it.
Yeah, so we're gonna I'll be editing that soon. So hopefully that'll be out in like a couple of days or so. I do have some writing work that I have to do, and I have like those like very hard deadlines that I have to meet, so that kind of has to take priority, but I will try to get them edited out
as soon
as I can.
The big things that I'm looking forward to, Ahsoka, Blue Beetle, and ever since we saw Adam Eve, I am just dying to see season 2 of Invincible.
I know, but it won't come out until the fall.
Not until November.
It'll take a little while. In the meantime, we will have Ahsoka. And I'm sure whenever trailers come up, we will, get to those accordingly, with whatever schedule that we are dealt with for the week. And then I know we gotta finish Clone Wars. Not Clone Wars, sorry, the Bad Batch. You knew what I was saying though.
Yeah.
So we gotta finish that.
And there's also a lot of shows that we want to catch up on. Yeah,
there's Cobra Kai. There's Stranger Things. My God, fucking Stranger Things.
Oh yeah, and Groot. Groot looks really, really cute, and I love those because they're short little things that we can watch, and there's not on a day. Yeah, you can just be like, "Oh, Groot's so cute."
I can't believe we got a second season. That's so cute, so fun. Yeah. So you guys, thank you for being here for today's live stream. I know it was last minute, but I appreciate all of you guys being here. We will try our very hardest to do more of these. Is like we enjoy it. Like it's just finding the time where we're both home and we're not in the middle of something else,
and we're also not both exhausted.
Yeah, that's a whole thing too. No, we have not watched any of the Twisted Metal. We actually don't have Peacock. That's one of the streaming series that I don't have. So I don't know if the studios wants to send over a screener, great, but I think it's out. So I think it's too late for that. All the reviews are already like out for that. We missed the embargo. So unfortunately, I don't think we'll be watching it anytime soon anyways. But with that said, you guys, thank you for your continued support. Thank you for staying subscribed. Thank you for anyone that's newly subscribed. And thank you for everybody watching the videos and giving it a thumbs up. It really, really helps us out. It's like, it just takes you a second, and it's just really, really greatly appreciated because the YouTube algorithm favors that.
Yes. So please don't forget to give us a thumbs up. It really helps out.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and take off. Navi needs to eat her dinner. We need to eat our dinner. So you guys stay well. If you're in Southern California, stay cool.
If you're anywhere
other than the other, like in Australia, it's winter right now.
It's winter right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, everywhere in the United States. If you are in Hawaii, we are take care of yourselves out there.
Yes.
And just loves and prayers and all of that for anyone out.
Stay safe. And that is it. All right, guys. We love you so much. We will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.